So I'm going to show you how to install WordPress at your hosting company. So I am showing you now the control panel for the domain that I'm going to use, which is this one, att-empty.com. And if I scroll down, you can see at the bottom what we're looking for is this one-click install section where there's a WordPress logo. If you were using GoDaddy or 123reg or any other hosting company, you would see probably a lot more logos and you just search through them until you found the WordPress one. This is our own hosting environment that I'm using here, and we only use WordPress, so we only have the WordPress logo. But either way, you look for your one-click install section, find the WordPress logo and click it. Okay, so we can see that it's installed on the domain now, and the final step is to click this Install WordPress button to finish the process. So it's just going to tick through for a few moments. And here we are. It says that WordPress has been successfully installed. So if I click on the domain now, it's going to take me through the WordPress configuration process. So this is just really setting up your preferences and so on. So to start with, it's asking what language I'd like it in. So I'm happy for it to be in English, but as you can see, there's a vast number of different options that you could select. And then it's asking us to tell it the title of the site and to set up a user. So these things can all be changed later. So you can call it whatever you like at this point and then go in later and change it if you need to. So I'm just going to call it My Practice Website for the sake of getting something up and running. Then it asks us to configure a user. So you could have your username as your name or as admin or whatever makes sense for you. So let's go with admin. And then you can see that it has suggested a strong password that would be pretty much impossible for anyone to guess, or for any kind of bot or spider or whatever to guess either. It's tempting to change this to something that's much easier to remember, but we don't recommend doing that. One of the disadvantages, I suppose, of WordPress, or just something to be aware of really rather than a disadvantage, is because of the incredible popularity of WordPress, lots of people spend a lot of time and effort trying to hack into WordPress sites, and one of the easiest and most common ways of getting into a site is to just guess the password. And not necessarily a human being guessing a password, but a computer, a bot guessing the password. So that's why WordPress is suggesting such a strong password as the one you see here. If you do decide to change it, then change it to something that's equally complex, but easier for you to remember. Then you need to put in your email address, and that will be the admin email address that's associated with the WordPress site once it's up and running. So I'm just putting in my Awesome Tech Training address. And then you've got this little tick box, discourage search engines from indexing this site. So if you tick that, then WordPress will basically tell Google and other search engines not to index the site. Quite often people tick it when they are developing a new site and they don't want any traffic to the site while it's under development. That's fine and it works very well, but a problem that quite often comes up is that people forget that that box is ticked. They put the site live and wonder why they're getting literally no organic search traffic. So what we would tend to say is that a better way of doing that is to leave this box unticked and instead to set up a coming soon page or something like that as a way of stopping people from being able to access the site until you're ready. And when you're good to go and you've got the password, make a note of this password, because the next thing that happens is WordPress is going to ask you to log in. And if you don't have this password, then you are potentially in trouble. So make a note of the password, remember what your username is, and then click Install WordPress to finish the process. Okay, so we've got success. WordPress has been installed. Thank you very much. We now log in using that username and the password that we have saved somewhere. So if you click on login, you will see, you go to this URL, which is your domain wp-login.php. So whenever you come to log in the future, you don't need to go back in through your hosting panel. You just come directly to this URL. So I've put in the username and the password, and I click login. And that's it, we're in. So here we are in the back end of a standard WordPress installation. If I click on my practice website here in the top right hand corner, this is what it looks like on the front end. So this is a live website now on the internet. This is dummy content that WordPress gives us. We can see this black bar along the top because we're logged in. We wouldn't see that if we weren't logged in. And if I click there, it takes me back to the back end. So that is the process of installing WordPress. It's quick